Hello and welcome to another segment of Stopping Socialism TV. I am Donald Kendal, joined by Chris Talgo. He's that way. Senior editor at the Heartland Institute and contributor to the Stopping Socialism program. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good, Donnie. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Once again, I'm bringing you on to talk about one of your wonderful op-eds. This one was published in the Epic Times recently. Title, Fauci Flouts Concern About Personal Liberties. So you start off the article saying, for the past 18 months, Americans have had their personal liberties trampled upon by a plethora of politicians and public health officials. First, we were told to hunker in place for 2 weeks to, quote, stop the spread and, quote, flatten the curve. Of course, those 2 weeks turned into several months. Second, we were told that to wear masks at all times in all places until the vaccine arrived. The vaccine arrived more than 8 months ago. Yet in many places in America, masks are still required. In fact, they're like being reintroduced in a lot of places, these mask mandates.
Yep.
Third, we were told that if we got the vaccine, we could return to life as we knew it pre-pandemic. Well, for those of us that took the vaccine, that hasn't turned out to be true. Yet, in perhaps the most startling development yet, Dr. Anthony Fauci has now declared that all Americans who choose, for whatever reason, not to receive the vaccine will have to, quote, put aside all of these issues of concern about liberties and personal liberties and realize we have a common enemy, and that common enemy is the virus. So he said this during like a Meet the Press segment on like a Sunday afternoon or something like that, right?
Yeah, I
When you
think it was
saw, go ahead.
CBS Face the Nation or something.
Face the Nation, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
When you saw him kind of talking so flippant about our personal liberties, you know, these things, all these silly things, personal liberties, what was your first reaction to that?
My jaw dropped because because I can't believe that Dr. Fauci flat out said, that if you have concern about personal liberties, basically just shove it and get the vaccine and shut up about it. Like you said earlier, we've been told so many times, if you do this, then it's all good, and every single time we do it, they keep moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
And to be told that you must put something inside of your body, or else you can't fully participate in society, and that if you have concerns about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, that you should just put that aside, it's just shocking.
Yeah, no doubt, especially from a public health official like this, right? Like this
Right.
isn't he's not supposed to be this like partisan guy, he's supposed to just be like, "Oh, these are the facts." So be it, right? And for him to like jump into this matter of, personal liberties, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, that type of stuff and just say like, "Forget it." Like you've got to get this. To me that was just like kind of gross. And we can get more into Dr. Fauci as we record this, but just like for context, like I think that at the beginning of all of this, at the beginning of the pandemic, I think that a lot of people were willing to accept emergency orders. In the first couple of weeks, the first couple of months, back when we didn't really know how dangerous this was or how contagious it was or the mortality rate of all of that. But as this continues to go on, I think people are losing patience. I mean, is that like do you feel the same way about it?
I very much feel the same way. I think when this whole pandemic started in January of 2020, February and March, it was new, it was novel. We didn't know much about it. We didn't know how it spread. We didn't know where it came from. We didn't know so many things. So it made sense. Hey, let's just take a couple of weeks, kind of like stop the spread, flatten the curve, make sure our hospitals aren't overwhelmed. We did that. We were successful. But ever since that, they keep changing the narrative. They keep changing the goalposts. And Dr. Fauci is supposed to be nonpartisan. He's supposed to just tell us the facts,
Mhm.
and he's not.
Right.
He's political.
Yeah, well, I mean, like in the first couple of weeks, the first couple of months, I mean, I was being like super careful, like I was like the kind of guy that when I brought in my groceries, I'd like wipe them down before I put them in the fridge,
Yep.
like put on
Yep.
your mask, all of that stuff. But then it has like the details of this started coming out, and it's like, well, if you're under the age of 50, the common flu is going to be more deadly for you. It's just like, okay, well, I'm not over 50, and I'm like, I don't have any underlying conditions and stuff, so I could probably not be as crazy about all of this stuff, right? And then it's just
Yeah.
like I really think that most people are logical, right?
I think
And they look around themselves, they see what's going on, they assess the situation, and then they make the choices that suit their personality and situation best.
I agree. I think that most people this far into the pandemic realize that this overwhelmingly harms older people and people with comorbidities, obesity, diabetes in particular.
Right.
So when, Dr. Fauci, who is supposed to be above board, he's supposed to be, the face of science, when he tells us that every single person, even little kids, need to get a vaccine. And if you have any sort of, you know, whims about that, then something's wrong with you and you should just shut up and take it. He never even addresses the fact that people who have had COVID-19 do not need the vaccine. So he's not he's not telling the full story.
Well, I just think that, like, if he was just even if it was just over and over again, like very repetitive, and he was, constantly on TV, just doing like a more, like information thing commercial, just talking about
Hmm.
how important it is to get the vaccine. Great. Some people might find it annoying or whatever. That's fine, right? So if that's the point of view that he was coming from, then fine, so be it. But it's like once the language starts turning towards mandates and like people being told what they must do, that's when it actually starts becoming political. Because guess what? People don't like being told what they have to do, right? So that to me is when it starts getting more and more political. And I
Right.
think
And
that some of that's intentional, actually. But go
oh,
ahead.
I completely agree. And there's a reason why Dr. Fauci has been in his position for 40 years because he's a political person. So
Mm.
obviously he's been able to navigate, the waters in the White House, and he's been able to maintain his position from administration to administration for all these years because he is a political animal. So it doesn't surprise me that he's doing this. It's in line with what the Biden White House, what the Biden administration wants. And to be honest, I think that Dr. Fauci has just become a talking head for them,
Yeah,
which
well, that's I wasn't so sure about him, again, in the onset of all of this stuff. It seemed like there was like some tension between him and Trump during the first several months of this. And then it almost seemed like he was Trump's guy, and even the left was kind of railing to get him out once Trump was gone. And like as this thing goes on, and how many months has it been? 17 months now to flatten
17
the
and
curve.
counting. Yeah,
17 months to flatten the curve. It seems like he's gotten more and more political. Is
I
that is
agree.
I mean, between like the stuff that he's talked about with Trump, that was one level. But then when he was starting to get in these little like sparring matches with Senator Rand Paul at these congressional hearings, that's like a whole nother level. And now it's like, does he get paid by like CNN and MSNBC and stuff to be on all the time? Because he seems like he's constantly on TV talking about stuff.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because that's another thing that I've noticed, and I usually at least pay attention to the Sunday shows, and I've been shocked that Dr. Fauci's been on TV as many times as he has throughout this entire pandemic, considering the fact that you would think that he has many other things on his mind that he would be
Right.
involved with.
Sure.
But like you said, over time he's gotten more political, more political. uh the the science, it has not been consistent. He's been all over the place. He first said masks don't do anything, then it was masks are okay, then it was wear two masks. It's like, he's lost credibility. So when he says stuff like, if you are concerned about the vaccine, well, you just need to put aside any concerns about personal liberties. I mean, that just further cements the fact that he's a political person.
Yeah, and it's like again, he's like this public health official, right? If you're just coming forth with the stats, here's the stats. This number of vaccinated people have gotten the sickness in the last couple of weeks. This is the number of people that are unvaccinated that's gotten the sickness in the last couple of weeks. Do with this information what you will. That's fine. Once he starts talking about like these mandates and like throwing aside your personal liberties because it's so important that we do that, that's him entering the policy realm. It's like
What
that's not your realm. Like it's not
what
supposed to be your realm.
Yeah, 100%. I'm fine if Dr. Fauci says I think that all Americans should get the vaccine. I mean, I
Right.
generally agree with that. But when he's saying that if you have any concerns about it, well then you just need to shut up and take it. That crosses the line.
So I mean that pretty much covers everything you were talking about in this op-ed. If people want to read it in length, there will be a link to it in the show notes. And you could find other work that Chris has done on this website and other various websites. But before we end this segment, I want to put on our little like prognostication hats for a minute.
Mm.
Where do you think personally all of this is going to go? Do you think that this, throw aside the personal liberties, we need to mandate vaccines, all of that? Do you think that that's the direction that we're going to go as a country, or do you think this is all going to subside naturally as these cases just kind of dwindle?
No, no, I think we're definitely going into the mandate realm, and like you said, we live in the Chicago suburbs, and the city of Chicago just re inserted their mask mandate. The Cook County, which is where Heartland is located, they've got their mask mandate back. And what's so strange is, the vaccines have been out. They've been out for months. They're widely available. Anyone and everyone who has had the opportunity to get it can get it. So
Right.
why are they just so obsessed, so singularly focused on the people who have chosen not to get it at this point? It's their choice.
Yeah.
It's just it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean the authoritarianism that has sprung up, because of all this pandemic stuff. Like I said, in the first like couple of weeks, the first couple of months, I think people were kind of more willing to accept that just because this was an unknown animal that we didn't know what we were dealing with, type of a thing.
Right.
But as this drags on, the level of authoritarianism I thought would go away, but it's not. It's
It's not.
increasing, and I'm very worried about kind of what the end game of all of this is. But surely you're going to be writing more about this. We're going to be talking more about this. So if
Well,
you, oh, go
just
ahead.
yeah, one last thing. A lot of people are concerned that this is going to go far beyond COVID-19. So, what if in a couple of years they say, "Hey, people who drive cars that are just producing too much pollution, sorry, you just can't drive them anymore." I mean, once this precedent has been set, if you believe in the slippery slope argument, now what they're saying is that your personal liberties do not trump the collectivist agenda or health or whatever.
Oh yeah,
So
no doubt.
I mean it's a scary point.
Oh yeah, I've talked about that a number of times. I really think that a lot of these authoritarian type practices that they've been trying to get in place using climate change as a justification, but have failed doing so. I think that COVID-19 was this ramming rod that bust open the door to all of these things that the government is now doing to protect us from COVID.
I
And I think
100%
all of
agree.
that stuff that they were trying to push through climate change, that door is now bust open. So they're going to
Yeah.
bring it right on through. But that's a whole nother
Yeah.
large topic. But you can read more about that. We've got a number of articles talking about all of this stuff on stoppingsocialism.com. If you want to see more videos like this, Stopping Socialism TV here on YouTube, just subscribe. If you hit the like button, share this content, leave a comment. These are things that you can do that help this video get more traction, put it in the suggested feeds of more YouTube viewers and all of that. We would greatly appreciate it. And we also have social media that you can find most of our content that we share, whether it's Facebook, Stopping Socialism. We also have an Instagram account. We have a Parler account, and we have a socialist Twitter account as well. Chris, any other last places people should go to maybe check out some more of your work?
Heartland.org and stoppingsocialism.com.
All right, fantastic. Nice, short, and sweet. All right, everyone, we're tuning out this time, but make sure to tune in next time to Stopping Socialism TV. Thank you all.
Thank you.